Okay, so you should get familiar with this. One is project, one is image, and one is container. After that, Docker Hub. Okay, so this image, as we are talking about, we'll understand this image first. Okay, so first thing is after installing your Docker software, what you can simply do is you need to able to run your Docker commands. Okay, so the very first Docker command you can try is Docker version. Okay, so it will tell whether it is your Docker has been correctly configured or not. Okay, so first after completing your installation, just try to execute this command, and remember that all your Docker commands will be starting with the name Docker. Okay, so just Docker version, so we'll see that. Okay, so Docker version. Okay, so if your installation is correctly happened, then you will get this response. So it will return with saying Docker version 23.0.5. Okay. So this will only come if it is correctly installed. Okay. So after that, what you can do is you can run one Hello World program. Okay. So simply to run your Hello World program, what you can say is Docker run space run, so that means it will run the hello world program. So hello world. Okay, so here very important thing to understand. Okay, so you might be asking, sir, I have not written this hello world program, but how can this Docker run a hello world program? Correct. So basically, so here the main picture will come into existence. So basically, when this program, it is not available on your computer, this hello world program we haven't written. So we haven't written any program. So what happens is this Docker engine will download this hello world program from somewhere, right? So if there is no program available on your computer, it might be needing to download from some place. First, we'll execute the command, then we'll discuss about it. Okay. So then I'll say Docker run hello world. Okay. So as you can see, the response you have got. So hello from Docker. So this message shows that your installations appear to be working correctly. Okay, that means our Docker is working correctly. Okay, so the Hello World program is also responded. So now you might ask, sir, where we got this Hello World program from, right? So now, as we were discussing, so this is the place. So we were discussing about Docker Hub, Docker registry, right? So these programs can be downloaded from the Docker Hub. Okay, so immediately after downloading your Docker software, after the installation and after checking the version number, okay, so if it is checking perfectly, immediately you run this command Docker run hello world. Okay, if it is working perfectly, so then what you can do is you can create one Docker account. Okay, so this is important that you need to have an Docker account also. Okay, so just after this, I'll come to this Docker software again. Okay, so I'll say I'll minimize, just go to this browser and check for Docker Hub. Okay, so go to this place called Docker Hub. Okay, so here, as you already discussed, it will be having all the images which are required for the Docker software. And also remember that you can even upload your Docker images to this place. You can upload and you can even download this Docker images from this place. So first we'll try to register. Okay, you can just register from this place. I have already registered with this, so I'll just log in with my existing account. So I'll click on sign in. Okay, I have this Docker Hub account, so I have downloaded. So you might be asking, sir, what can we do with Docker Hub account? So as you can see, Docker Hub is an repository. A repository means it will be storing all the images. Okay, so if we do this practically, you can be able to understand it better. Okay. So what we shall do is we shall try to create one Docker project, and then we'll practically see how exactly we can use this. Right. So we'll go back. Okay. So as you can see, our Docker is running for perfectly, and I'm able to run my Hello World program. So these are all fine. So after this, I have told you guys to download Visual Studio Code, right? So why we are using this Visual Studio Code is to write this Docker files. Okay. So now you might be asking, what is a Docker file? Okay. So Docker file. So in this Docker file, we'll be writing all the set of instructions. Okay. So you might be asking, sir, which language we will be using to write the Docker file. So basically, we use YAML language. Okay. So remember that. So we will be writing YAML language. Again, you might be asking, sir, do we need to learn the complete YAML language right now? Okay, so not required. So YAML language you need not learn. Yes, so these are all very easy, simple commands like only. It's not like your regular programming language where you need to understand the concepts of oops, and you need to understand the concept of variables, storage, arrays, and all. So nothing like that. YAML is very simple language with simple commands. Okay, so that we can also understand it through practical way. It doesn't require much time to understand. It's just some basic set of commands. Okay, so once you see one practical file, you'll be able to get it very easily. Okay, so in this YAML, sorry, what we'll be writing this YAML is steps of instructions. That's it. Okay. So steps of instructions we'll be writing in a Docker file. Okay. So that we'll try to do practically. So I'll do one thing. So simply, as I told you guys, to download Visual Studio Code, right? So I'll download Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code. So we will write our Docker file using this application. Okay. So Visual Studio Code. So I've opened the software. Okay. So I'll create one new project. Okay. I'll say go to file and create. I'll close everything first. I'll close this folder. Okay. So I'll say file, and I'll say create new file. Okay, or else one thing what you can do is, okay, I'll go with new file only because we'll be working on one single file. So now again you might be saying that, sir, how to write this Docker file? So basically remember that for each project you will be having one single file only. Okay, so always the file name will be Docker file. Okay, so for every project you'll be having one single Docker file. Okay, so and also remember that the name is case sensitive. Always the D need to be in a capital letter. Okay, so Docker file. Okay, so I'll include this Docker file in each project. Okay, so in this project all the instructions will be writing. Okay, so or else we can do, we'll take one project only. So directly we can take one project. So we have some HTML projects the other day. So I think this is one of my HTML project, right? So I'll just copy this. I'll do one thing. So I'll go to one maybe on desktop itself. What's that? So here I'll create one new folder. I'll say Docker projects, correct? So Docker projects folder I'm creating. So inside this I'll say folder, I'll say project one. Okay, so we'll work on project one. So project one. So here I'll paste it. Okay, So instead of putting all these files outside, I'll put it inside this here directly. So paste and remove this. Okay, so what I have done, I have created one project folder called docker projects. Okay, so inside this project docker projects, I have created project one. So inside this project one, I have my HTML project. So you might be asking, sir, which project we can use? So you can use any project. You can use HTML, you can use PHP, .NET, Java, Python, React, or Node. Any type of project you can use. Okay. So right currently we are working on HTML project because already we have some familiarity. So previously we have created one instance, and we have tried to host our website on that instance. So for that we have used HTML. So the same process which we have done earlier using instances, now we shall try using containers. Okay. So now I have this project, ready project, project number one. So I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. So I'll say file and open folder. Okay. So I'll say open folder. In this, I will select the project. So the project is go to desktop. So here I have seen select Docker projects folder. So inside I'll select project one, right? So I'm working on project one. So I'll select this folder. Okay, right? So I have got this project one. I think this file is previously written. Okay, okay. So I have taken this project one. So the project one will be appearing here. So this is my index.html where we can edit and write. Okay. So now you can see here, we got the project. As I told, each project will be having one Docker file. Okay. So to work on this Docker file, you need to add some extensions. Okay. So so where can I get these extensions? So and again, you might be asking if some people are very new to these extensions. So simply I'll tell this Visual Studio, it need to start working on this YAML language, right? So right now you can say this is HTML, for example. HTML is there. So HTML is a language which with tags, right? So for example, I am writing a tag HTML. So as you can see, it is suggesting me. So basically, this is called intelligence. Okay. So you need to have this. If this intelligence is there, it will be easy for you to write the program, right? So this is working because they have installed HTML extensions to this Visual Studio Code. Similarly, while we are writing our YAML file, so we need, if this is there, this intelligence is there, that will make our work more easy for us, right? So that is the reason we need to install our extensions. Okay, so you might be asking, sir, how to install these extensions? Okay, so in the left section you can see this is there are so many options available for you. So here you can see this is like some three boxes and one separate box. So this is called extension section. So for which software we need these extensions? So we are working on Docker, right? So I'll search for Docker extensions. So I'll click on Docker. Okay. So as you can see, there are so many options are available for me, right? So in this, I'll install this Docker. Okay. So this is as you can see, there is a blue tick. So that blue tick is because that is a genuine one and a verified one. Okay. So this is already installed. So I'll uninstall. Okay. So this Docker has been developed by Microsoft. Okay. So select this one and you can click on install. Okay, so if I install, that intelligence will work properly and I can start using this Docker files. Okay, so now have added Docker extension. Okay, as you can see, it is in disabled stage or else uninstalled. So that means it is in installed condition. Okay, so I'll go back, okay, to my file explorer. So as I told, we have to create one Docker file. So I'll create that now. So I'll say Just click on this. So there is one add button which will create a new file. Okay, click on new file. Okay, so again, as you told, the name is case sensitive. Always the docker file need to be written with this name only, any project you take. But always the name will be remaining the same. Okay, don't change the name like this. Okay, so you can't keep D small letter or F capital letter, nothing like that. So this is the fixed name given for the docker file. It is case sensitive, and also the name also should be always same. Okay, so I'll write the same thing. So I'll click on new. So I'll say docker file. Okay, so the name is constant and same for all the projects. Okay, so when I click on this, a docker file will be created. As you can see, there is one small docker icon appearing in front of the name. Okay, so this is a docker file, right? So now what we shall do is, uh, we shall work on one instance. So we'll just take the procedure. Okay, so for example, can you guys tell me what we have done for hosting a HTML website in instance? So in our EC2 instance, we have hosted one HTML website, right? So what are the steps we have done? One second, one second. Hosting website on EC2. Okay, so first what we have done? Created instance. For example, Ubuntu, I'll say. Okay, next. Okay, connect to instance. After this, install Apache. Okay, packages. Install Apache package. Correct. Next. When SCP connect చేసిన file HTML folder. Right. Okay, we have done files transfer to www root folder. Maybe www folder only. Correct? Right. Next, security groups added port number 80. Right? Then we are able to host our website. అంతేనా మెయిన్ స్టెప్స్ అయితే ఇదే కదా, right? So now what we shall do is, we shall be as we are told, this is for instances. So we have checked with the virtual machines. So virtual machines lo velte, this is the procedure, right? So I think if you just I think in the last class, if you have taken any pictures, mm, okay, I think I'm not carrying any pictures. Maybe on this PDF we have containers. Will take this. So what difference between VM and containers we'll see. Right. So this is for the Docker engine. So I think this is not a correct picture. We'll take another picture. Maybe this is also not correct picture. For your understanding, right. So this is the procedure we have done. So we have installed one virtual machine. So we have created one instance, and inside this instance, we have installed Apache software, and after Apache software we have uploaded our project to www folder, right? So this is a procedure for this virtual machines or EC2, right? So now right now we are working on this Docker, right? So just imagine your local computer, okay? In your local computer or laptop, this infrastructure is your hardware, maybe your 4 GB RAM or i3 processor, or your 1 TB storage or whatever. Okay, so that will be coming under this infrastructure. On your infrastructure you might be installing Windows operating system. So right now you can see I'm working on Windows 10 operating system. So inside this, what I have done, I have installed Docker. Docker is nothing but your Docker engine I have installed, right? So on your Docker engine, as you can see, app A, app B, app C, app D, E, F, right? So these are all nothing but your containers, right? So here you can see these are all not containers. These are all virtual machines. So we have to run this containers here. So we have to create containers. So for example, right now we are working on this project. So this is our project. So we need to create one container to use the application. So to make this a container, okay, so we have to build containers, right? So for making this containers, first we have to write a Docker file. Okay, so we are writing a Docker file. So in this Docker file, all the instructions will be there. So in this Docker file we'll be writing the steps of instructions. Okay, so the steps of instructions now, that is the reason I have asked. So here you can see, while we are creating one instance, we have followed this procedure. We have created Ubuntu instance, we have connected to the instance. So install Apache packages, and file transfer we have done. So first you just consider these three, right? So create instance, Ubuntu instance, install packages, right? So as we were discussing in the other class, this containers will not have any operating system, right? So here in the picture also you can see. So I think this one. So here you can see there is no operating system here. There were no place that they have mentioned any operating system. But also what we can say is we can also include operating system which is very lightweight. Okay, tiny operating system we can use. Okay, so that is the reason they are told. So if it is portable and we can be used with any operating system. So for your understanding, what we shall do. So in our notepad, we have done Ubuntu, then Apache package, right? So Ubuntu operating system we have used, and Apache library we have used. So you might be asking, sir, where we get this libraries from, right? So in this EC2 section, what we have done, we have went to this Apache website. From there, we have downloaded the package. Okay. So here, what we have told. So already we know that there is a place called Docker Hub. So here you will be getting all the images, right? So what we shall try to do is we shall try to get some library from this place. So I'll go to this Docker Hub. So I'll go to my Chrome browser. So this is the Docker Hub, or else you can just hub.docker.com. Okay. So I have created one account. So my account is available, right? So these are all my projects which I have uploaded. So these are all my projects only. So I'm not concerned about my projects. Right now I need some public libraries. Okay. So you guys might be heard about this HTTPD. So the other time we have worked using this instances HTTPD package, right? So that we shall try to get. Okay. So here you can see I'll search HTTPD package. Okay. So click on this HTTPD, or else you can just directly click on search, right? So HTTPD package is available in Docker Hub. So now you don't know how to use this library, right? So for that, simply this you can just Docker pull HTTPD. So what it will do, this pull command, it will download the file to your local computer. Okay, whereas Push command will be working actually in our further class. We'll work on this Docker Hub, how to upload your image onto Docker Hub, and how to download your image from Docker Hub. That we will be working. But right now, just we are not concerned. We want this package. I want HTTPD package. So how to get the package? So if I scroll down like this, so here you can see there are various versions available for you. So any of the versions you can use. Okay. So how to use this image? So simply what is telling? So is telling two lines. One is from HTTPD. Okay, so two commands are there. So right now what I'll do, I'll just try to execute this one by one. Okay, I'll say from HTTPD. So I'll copy this, copy, and I will paste it in my Docker file. Okay, right? That's it. And I'll save this file. So what it will do, it will download this HTTP library, first instruction. So as we have seen, these are all steps, a step of instruction while working on EC2. So first we have created instance and we have installed Apache packages, right? So up to this step we can do. Two steps I am doing. So for all this process, only one line of code from HTTPD. So it will simply download HTTPD directly. Okay. So save, right? So now you might ask, sir, how to execute this Docker commands? One is you can execute these commands using this command prompt, and sometimes you can also use PowerShell. And also, if you are working on this VS Code, you can directly run on terminal here. Okay. So as you can see, terminal option here, just click on terminal. So I'm clicking on terminal. Okay. So automatically the terminal will come for you. Okay. So if you are for your reconfirmation, already we know one command, that is Docker version, right? So I'll execute. As you can see, the command is working here. Okay. So all your Docker commands can be executed from this place. So how to start this terminal is simply click on this terminal, click on new terminal. Okay, so that will bring a terminal for you. Okay, so now what you need to do is, as you can just see this, there is a procedure. First you need to have a project. So we bought a project. So second, we need to create one image. Okay, so how to create, first thing is we'll be checking if there are any existing images on our system. Okay, so there is one command called as Docker images. Okay, so just you can remember, as I already told, every Docker command will start with the name Docker. So now I need images. Okay, if there are any existing images, it will check. So Docker images. Okay, I want list of any images existing on this system. So click on Docker images. Okay, so as you can see, there are already three images on my system. Okay, so right now what I want to do is I want to create one new image. Okay, so for that you'll be having one command. I'll write the command. So I'll say Docker build hyphen p space your project name. So what is the project name you want to give? So project name space your location. Okay, so this is one command to build your image. Okay, so we shall try to do here. So I'll say Docker, I'll say build space hyphen t space this project name. So what name we shall give? So we shall say my first project. Okay, I will say my first project space the location of the project. So as you know, I'm already in the location, as you can see here. And also this file is inside the project, right? Docker file is inside the project. So this we are building image in the same folder, so we need not give any specific location. If we are if we are doing this outside the location, we need to give the location here. As we are, as you can see here, we are inside the project location, right? So because inside project one folder only, my project is there, right? So what I can say, simply I'll put it as dot. So dot means in the current folder. Okay, dot represents the current folder. If you want this docker image to be on another location, you can specify space somewhere space ubuntu or user location, like that you can specify. Okay, so right now I want to create this image in current folder, so I'll say dot. So that will create one docker image. Okay, so now enter. So if I click on enter, so what this will do, this docker this docker file, it will bring this httpd library, right? So we shall see how it will bring. So I'll click on enter. As you can see, it is building the image, right? As you can see, it has brought one image for me. So okay, so exporting to image, so the image has been created. So here you can see the status steps. So 5 steps it has taken. Okay, so here you can see every time you execute one docker image, so if you every time you build one docker image, so it will be executed in a step by step manner. Okay, right now as you can see, there is only one single step. So here it will show one by one. Okay, if it is 2 steps, so it will say one by one, it will execute one by one time, and one by two by two second time. Okay, as it is only one line, it has executed that 1 comma 1. So as you can see, it has successfully built one image. So now to check your images, as you know, docker space images, right? So it will tell all the list of images for you. So I think if it is not possible, I think I can use magnifier also. Okay, I think now you should be able to see. Okay, so now I'll have executed created this project, and now I'm executing command called docker images. Okay, so enter. So this command will show the list of images which are present on my computer. Okay, enter. Right, so as you can see, it has created. Previously it was showing only 3 projects, so our project name was my first project, right? So my first project, it has been created. And you can see, I think this is created, it is one wrong command. It is saying 4 days, but it should mention it a few minutes ago, right? So my first project I have created just now, and the size is 145 MB. So you might be asking, sir, why it is 145 MB? So 145 MB is nothing but the, one second, magnifier. Okay. So this has downloaded this HTTPD package from the internet. So that is why the size is 145 MB. Okay. So now you can see two things we have done. We have taken the project. We have taken a project. We have created one image, right? So image has been successfully created, and the image name is my project 1. So now I want to check in the container. So next is I have to run this image on a container. Okay, for that we'll try to execute a command. So for that the command is, so you can mention, I'll write the command here. So docker build we have done. So as you know, it start docker command starts with docker space run p, then this is 8080. It is your port number of your host operating system, and this is for the and again followed by I'll say port number 80. So why this port number 80? This port number 80 will be allocated to your project. Okay, space hyphen minus hyphen D space your project name. So what is our project name? Our project name was my first project. Okay, so this we have to run. So this is for building image. So we have used this command. So to run container, I'll use this command. Okay, so I'll go back. So I'll say docker docker run hyphen p 8080 my host address colon host port number and this 80 this port number I'm giving to my project hyphen d and I'll say project name. So as you can see my project is this one. So I'll run my project. So the project name is my first project. Okay, so I'll run it on my container. So now you might be asking, sir, where this container will be running? So this container will be running on our local computer. Okay, so enter. Right, so as you can see there is no error message. So it has created one docker container. So you might be asking, sir, how to check my docker container, right? So get back. So just simply what you can do is you can just now you can open your Docker software. Okay. So again we'll come by one will be coming. So first what we have done, so we have created one image. So the image name was my first project. Okay. So my first project I have created, right? Right. It is showing here, right? So next I have told run the container. So I'm running this container, my first project. So inside this container section you can just go, right? So inside this container section, as you can see, this container is in running state. So status you can see it is running. As we have mentioned, as I have given port number 8080 colon 80, right? So I want to access this website. So simply as you can how you can easily access the website is just click on this port number. Okay. So as you can see, I think this is not the correct website because we haven't given any website link, right? So I'll reload the page. Okay, right? As you can see, port number localhost 8080 and it is sending the message as it works. Okay, so you are familiar with this HTTPD package we have installed successfully and it is showing as it works. That means the HTTP package which we have installed is working correctly. Okay, so next I'll come back. So one is I have downloaded the library and have configured and it is working correctly, right? So next command what is telling, copy, and this is the file location, project location, and this is the folder location. Okay, so I'll just copy this command. I'll copy, Control C. So again, I'll come back to my Visual Studio Code, right? So here we are executing our Docker files, right? So I'll paste. Okay, sorry. So first command is download the library. So second command is copy files, right? So as you can see, copy, this is source and this is destination folder. Okay, this we have done already using this WinSCP software. We have tried to copy, right? So the same thing here. Okay, so but what happened is copy, this is source location. We are putting this Docker file inside the source library only, right? So what you can do if the file is inside the folder, you can just put it as dot. Okay, so dot, and this is it need to copy it to this location. Okay, so that is the destination. then our website will be hosted, right? So once we'll check the preview of our website because we haven't seen. So right click. I think from here we can't open. Okay, so I'll do one thing. We can just look our project also. So reveal in File Explorer. So this is our project. So project one index.file. I'll just open and see preview. So I'll say Chrome. Okay, this is my local website, right? So digital currency I will change. So small changes we can see. Control F. Digital currency. Okay, I'll just change this. I'll say hello. I am running from a container. Okay, so this is my website heading page. Okay, so I have written one Docker file. So here I'm copying all this project to this location, right? So as you know, first we need to install our library. So simple steps, same steps we have done. So the easy to step. So we have installed our packages, and after installing our packages, we have transferred our files to www folder. Okay. So port number, what we are doing is we are giving this port number while we are running the container. So there is need not mention any port number here. Okay. So I'll go back. So again, as you know, we have made changes, right? So the previous image is not the same. So this is a new image we need to build. So I'll say Docker. So I'll say just you can just use this up and down arrows. So such that you can use our old commands. Okay, up and down. So up down will just show your previous commands. Okay. So Docker build. So I'll say I'll change this as my first project 2 space dot. Okay, so now I'll be creating one new image. Okay, so enter. Okay, so now it is creating one image for you, right? So it has completed creating the image, right? So now to check whether the image is created or not, we'll use this command called docker images. Okay, so now you can see in this docker images new project has been created, my first project 2. Okay, which is our recent build. So recently we have created a new image. Okay, right? Now I want to run this. Okay, to run this already we know port number. If we go and see this docker software, already it is running my first project, so which is running on port number 80, right? So what we shall do, we shall try to change the port numbers now. Okay, because for example, if check if I am trying to run the second website on the same port number, as we know it won't happen. So but practically we shall see. So I'll come back. I'll say docker run port number 808080, my first project, and the project name is 2. Okay, so as you know this should fail. Why? Because already port number 80 and 8080 are occupied. So I'll just try. So what is telling? Port number is already allocated. Already this my first project is running on the port number. So we can't, it can't allocate the folder for you. Sorry, port number for you. So such that it is now you can't host your website on the same port number, right? Now I'll say I'll change the port numbers. So I'll say Babu 8081 and I will say port number 80. So now we shall see. So enter, right? So as you can see, it has successfully executed the command. Okay, now you want to see the project, live project. So as you know, port number 808081. So simply you can go to your browser, right? So inside your browser, we have checked our project, right? Okay, this is the local one. So I'll say local host colon 8080, right? So port number 80, it is working, right? So again I'll say port number 81, this is our new project, right? So enter. Or else simply, if it is not working, you can get the link directly from this Docker software. So here you can see this is my containers section. Inside my container section, I could see the list of all the containers. So here you can see my first project 2. Okay, and it is in running condition. It is running on port number 8081. Okay, so just click on this. It need to take me to the new website. Why it is not working? Or else I'll do one thing. I'll just allocate this port number 80 only. We'll see. Or else I'll just stop this website for some time and we shall check now. No, it's not working again. So we'll try with some other port number. So I'll say port number 8080, port number 8080 or 808, and I'll say port number 80. So now we shall see what happens. Okay, so I said port number 808 and 80. So we shall see. So in this, I'll go back to this Docker container section. So as you can see, port number 8080 80. So now I'll try to access this, right? But I don't want this because I want my actual website. So that means we are missing somewhere. That means our project is not copied properly. So I'll get back to my VS code and I will see what is the problem we have done. So copy correct, space correct. So almost all of this seem to be correct only. So where is the error? HT docs. We are working from project one only. So the thing is, the copying is not done correctly. So why the copying is not working? We'll check what happened. We'll just go this, see this step by step. Okay, the steps also is they're not showing right now. So I'll say Docker images is correct. Next project two. I'll create a project, run project two, or else I'll build that image again. I'll say build project my project 3. I think I have not saved this file, correct? So as you can see, this dot which you are seeing here, that means you have not saved this file. So simply what you can do, control S. So as you can see, control S, that has removed the dot. Okay, after writing the code I forgot to save the file. Okay, so now I have saved using control S. I've saved the file. So now again I need to build the image. So I'll go back and I will say docker build. I think I'll put the magnifier. So now I have saved my Docker file. After giving this new changes, I have to commit this file. So I pressed Control S. Okay. So that now the file has been saved. I'll go back and I'll create one new image. So Docker build. I'll say project number 3. Okay. So project number 3 built. So enter. So as you can see, it is building on 3 steps. Okay, right. We have missed this section the other time. So as you can see, we are this Docker image has been built. So it has 2 steps. One step is to import the HTTPD library, and the second one is to copy the command. So two commands we are using here. So here you can see. So first command it has bought us the Docker library, correct? So second command we have used copy command. So copy command it has used successfully, right? So now it has done both the jobs for us, right? So two commands executed successfully. And also to check the image, so Docker images. So Docker images, you can see my first project 3. So this is a new project. So it has successfully built. So now I want to run this Docker container. So I'll say Docker run. I'll just changes. I'll just make some port number changes. So I'll say port number uh, port number 8070. Okay. So port number 8070, and I'll say project as project T, which is the latest one. Okay. So I'll enter, right? So it has exceeded correctly without any error. So now 807080 is my new port number, right? So I'll go back to my Docker. So I'll go to this container section. So here you can see this is my project number 3. So I'll run this in my browser. Okay. So now as you can see, this hello I am running from a container. So this is what the website I was building, right? So now our website has been hosted successfully using a container. Okay. So the thing is the task was, it is made very very simple, hardly you can see. I'll just go back. So here you can see the size. As we are talking that these containers are lightweight, and it will be saving so much time and all. So as you can see, we have created 3 images. Okay, so 3 projects we have created. That means simply you can say 3 VMs also we can say. So this is one image, this is one image, this is one image. 3 images I have built. So as you can see, the size is hardly 147 MB, 147 MB, 145 MB, 145 MB. It is very very lightweight, right? So very very lightweight, and you can see at a single point of time I'm running multiple servers, right? So as you can see, if I go back, so here you can see in this containers section, I'm almost running 3 servers. One, two, three. So all are working under one Docker engine, right? So and also here there will be so much, we have saved so much of time and so many resources also. Hardly what we have done, we have just written 2 lines of code. That's it. Only 2 lines of code, and we are saving huge amount of resources also. So now you might be thinking, sir, why we have done with HTTPD? So in this what we have done, where for example we were working on our server, right? So we were familiar with Apache 2. For example, if you want to host this server on Apache 2, so simply what you can do, you can bring this library from the Docker Hub. So simply go back, just go to this Docker Hub section. So right, this is our Docker Hub. I think we have lost the Docker Hub. Okay, so I'll go back. What's there? So I'll say Docker Hub. I think this is Docker Hub. Okay, so this is Docker Hub, and I will say I want another library. So I'll say Apache 2, because we are familiar with this. So I'll say Ubuntu Apache 2. It is available for me. Okay, so Apache 2 is available, right? So I can use this Apache 2 for my project, correct? So now what we shall do is, I want to this project I have done using HTTPD library. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll work with Apache 2 library now. So one library I have completed. So simply you can see, just you can copy this name. Okay. Simply I'll say Docker pull I think if you go into this documentation also, it will be available. So in this documentation usage, so I think this is the one they are providing. So Docker Apache 2. Okay, so that is not required. I'll include this into my into my project. Okay, so this Kubernetes we don't want. So that simply, if you want to know the name, simply what you can do, you can just copy this also. Ubuntu slash Apache 2. Okay. So simply I'll say, I'll go back to this same section. I'll say Ubuntu slash Apache 2. Okay. I'll say enter. So previously I have used this library. So now I'll use different library. Okay. So I'll say Control S. Now I'll be installing Apache server. So again, this is the third time I'm repeating the steps. So again, you need to create one Docker file. You need to write the set of commands. So here I have given a command to bring and install Apache 2 software. So for that, what you need to do, you need to build one image. So I'll say Docker build -t. Then I'll say my Apache project. Okay, so I'll change it the name and I'm saying my Apache project. Okay, here you can see my Docker build my Apache project. Okay, so now a new build will be created. Okay, sorry. So this is, I need to specify the destination. So the destination is within this folder. So I'll say dot. Okay, enter. Right, so one command. So now what it should do, it should get that Apache 2 library from the Docker Hub. Okay, so this is available on Docker Hub, so we need to get this library from the Docker Hub. Okay, so it is downloading the library from the Docker Hub now. I think this Apache library is a little big. It is coming along with Ubuntu operating system. It will install Ubuntu operating system and Apache 2. So this time it is downloading all the files from the Docker Hub to your local computer. Right, so it has downloaded the library. So now I want to check the image. So to check the image, I'll say Docker images. Okay, so if I say Docker images, it will show all the list of images on my computer. So we're okay, see, so my Apache project, so the image is available, right? So my Apache project, as you can see, the size is little bit, the size is 180 MB. Okay, so now coming again, so now I want to run this container, so image, so that will form a container. So I'll say it again, I'll go just up and down arrows will show you this. You can change using this up and down arrows, you can change the commands. So I'll say Docker run, I'll use port number 8060, and I will say my Apache project, right? I've changed the project, this is my new project, I'll say my Apache project. Okay, so I think the name is correct. My Apache project, the name is correct. Okay, so now I'll build the project, I'll run the project. Okay, right, it has been executed successfully. So now I want to check the status. So how to do that is, again, you go back to your Docker software. So inside the container section, you can see. So as you can see, my Apache project which I've built just now is running. The status is in running condition, and you can see 8060 is the port number. Okay, let us see the output. So click on this, right? So this is the default page of Apache, right? So for this we have done already. So it has built one. What this container is hosting is, it is this Ubuntu operating system along with Apache 2 software configured perfectly, right? So now you know that you want to host your website at this place. So to host your website, we need to copy our HTML projects to this location. So here itself is defining. So you should replace the file located at var www.html index.file. So this place you have to change. So simply what you can do, just copy this, right? So copy this. I'll make the changes in my Docker file. So previously I'll go to my VS Code. I will say, I'll write this command, copy, right? So copy space dot. Why? Because it is the Docker file is in the within the folder. Dot space, and the destination is this folder. Okay, so this is the destination folder. So I'm shifting all these project files from this folder to var www.html folder. So why? Because as you can see in the output, they are asking me to shift your projects to the location. So I think in which browser it is coming. Okay, in Edge it is coming. So if you want to host your website, you need to put your HTML files in this folder. Okay, so that I am doing right now. So I'm copying all my HTML files to this folder. So for that, the command, docker command is copy space your source and destination. Source is within the folder, so I'll say dot. So this is the destination. So all my project files will be copied to this location now. Okay, so now previously we have done hosted our website using HTTPD library. So now we are hosting our website using Ubuntu library, Ubuntu and Apache. Okay, so I think last time we have forgot to save our file. So I'll save our file. I'll say Control S. So I have saved the file. So again, as you know, the process is same. So now you need to create one image. So the process is uh, docker build my project name. Now I'll change the project name to 2. Okay, so I'm creating one image. So for that, docker build command, so now I'm mentioning it as project number 2. Okay, so project number 2 space dot. Okay, so enter. So it will not take much time this now. Why? Because it has already downloaded the library. Second time it won't download the library because the existing library is already saved on your local system. Okay, it will take this library from the local library. Okay, so as you can see, it is built within seconds now. So previously it was taking some time. Why? Because it need to download the file, right? So as you can see, it has executed two commands. So second command executed, right? So two commands has been executed successfully, command number 1 and command number 2. So again, to check if the image is successfully created or not, I'll say docker images. It will show all the list of images. Okay, so my recent project was my Apache project 2, right? So this here it is showing just 36 seconds ago. Okay, this is the latest copy. So my Apache project 2, and also you can see the image size is just 181 MB. This 181 MB has including Ubuntu operating system, Apache library, and your project, which is very very lightweight. Okay, so now I want to run this Apache 2 project. So again, what you can do, I'll just go press up and down. So I'll just go through my uh, previous commands. So just okay, run command. Okay, I've used the run command here. So I'll say, I'll change the port number. I'll say 8050. So minus D, and Apache project 2. I'll run the second project, which is my latest project. This is the Apache project 2. So now I'll execute. Okay, so it has run without any error. it has been running now. So coming back, so I'll go to my Docker software. So here in the list of container section, so as you could see, 8060. I think not 8060. It is the this one, 8050, which is my Apache project number two. Okay, so project number two, 8050, and it is in running condition. So click on this, right? So as you can see, port number 8050, and this is my website, and this website is running on Apache server. Okay, so simply you can we have done so many examples today, such that you can become very familiar using this Docker concepts. So first, I have told to understand project. Okay, we have bought the project. Then we have created one image. So Docker file we have created. Inside the Docker file, we have given instructions. Okay. So after this, we have created one image, right? So after that, I have told we need to run a container, right? So these three steps we have done successfully. And after that, we have explored Docker Hub, from where we have bought our libraries, right? So we bought HTTPD library, and we bought Apache 2 library, right? So that we have done. So practically what we have done is, one is